Ladies and gentlemen, now today we just got back from New York Comic Con to some fairly interesting news. So this Friday we get to decide which one of these 6 champions, and mad love to MCOC Tricos for this graphic, man, just kind of stealing it for this video, or borrowing it, should I say, man. Maybe that's a little bit of a better term there. But which one of these 6 champions is going to get buffed next? So this buff is probably going to be coming anywhere in the next like 3 to 6 months, because the Colossus and Old Man Logan one has taken a while, mate, and it's still not live. And I keep saying like next month, but hopefully like next month it actually is going to be live. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see on that one, man, but it's not too long now till we get both of those champions buffed. So yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting selection this time around, and they've left out also any mystic and mutant characters, so 6 champions from 4 classes, and they say they've also removed or replace some champions that were previous choices, like Groot and Howard the Duck. So yeah, we have a larger list of champions that they would like to tackle than just these lists, and want to work through them all over time. And don't worry, those other champions can come back in future polls and pools as well. So they say that they can only guarantee that the champion that receives the most votes will receive an update, but if time permits, our design team may choose to select another champion that they would like to update as well. So really depending on the outcome of, you know, the poll. And in the first one, like, Colossus was a landslide vote. He had by far the most votes, but there was also quite a lot of love for Old Man Logan as well. So it's really nice that they got around to giving both of those champions a revamp, and both of them are looking really, really good, man. I'm very excited for kind of those to go live. However, that does leave us with a little bit of a question, man, which is, which one of these 6 champions do we think, or do I think, should I say, is most deserving of a buff? So my personal prediction is this is going to be an absolute landslide victory for Hulkbuster, man. I think kind of however you look at it, Hulkbuster is just the best option for the game and the players overall. And we're going to be going over all the points today as to why Hulkbuster is going to absolutely dominate this one, at least in my opinion. But also the second option could be very, very important. So I want to start a personal campaign for another character, man, that I really, really want to see buff, because I think this champion has so much potential, and that's Daredevil, man. Daredevil on his foundation has abilities that could be expanded on to make him a really interesting and viable counter to a lot of really tricky opponents at the moment. So Daredevil, I think, would be really, really cool. Iron Man as well would be my third choice if I had to pick like one. However, with like Infinity War Iron Man and Hulkbuster up there might be, you know, a little bit too many Iron Men toward the top tier of the game. And Iron Man, I'd love to see the champion get a buff, but I think Hulkbuster and Daredevil, you know, conceptually could be a lot more interesting. So a little bit of love for Iron Man as well, but Hulkbuster and Daredevil, man, those are the 2 champions that I'm really, really gunning for here. So let's talk about why I think Hulkbuster is going to absolutely dominate this champion buff poll. So firstly, he's the most underpowered of all 6 of the champions, man. He's always been like a big old chunky noodle, so yeah, really does need the buff more than anybody else. Secondly, he's an XL champion for variant 2, so that gives him like a great use for anybody that pulls like a 5 or 6 star version of Hulkbuster. If you get some good utility and has some solid damage output there. He's also a tech champion for variant 3, and also a tech champion for variant 1, and the Mystic and also tech chapter, it can be a little bit of a pain, man, and another good option for that in variant 1 is always a very, very good time. But if you buff this champion, man, he's going to have great uses in all 3 of the variants, I would assume. So yeah, that's a lot of very promising potential there. Also via the endgame variant rank up gems, you can get them up to rank 4 with 2015 rank up gems available from all 3 variants. So, you know, if you're doing the variants, man, and you get a 5-star Hulkbuster, you've got like 9 chances to take this dude up to rank 4 via gem. So yeah, that's awesome, man. A lot of rank 4 Hulkbusters knocking about in the endgame. Hulkbuster is also already available as a 5 and 6-star champion in both basic pools, and he has been available as a 5-star champion for a very, very long time. So a lot of people do have a 5-star version of Hulkbuster knocking about in their roster. So if you buff this champion, it's going to benefit a lot of players. And also, quite a few people already have pulled a a 6-star version of Hulkbuster, and the likelihood is if you're watching this video now and this video gets about, you know, say like 20,000 views, for example, at least 1,000 of you are probably going to get a 5 or 6-star version of Hulkbuster like in the next 3 months or so. So, you know, man, I think it's a really good argument and something to think about there, man, because he's been dished out like crazy. Also, being a tech and in this massive tech suit, he's got the potential to get a lot more utility, maybe even some immunities as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they could do with Hulkbuster in terms of, you know, mechanics and additional stuff that they could add. Honestly, man, having this massive suit of armor, there is like so much potential for all sorts of quirky little stuff that they could add. But yeah, I'd love to see some immunities, man. Bleed immunity would be a very good time. Also, he could be given a unique Hulk busting ability versus characters with gamma radiation, such as Original Hulk, Gladiator Hulk, She-Hulk, and Maestro. So maybe something that just makes his abilities like go from a really good level to a crazy level, you know, more attack, more frequency, like bigger armor breaks, all sorts of additional stuff there. So I think that could be quite fun to play around with there. Also, Hulkbuster has the Avengers tag for events and synergies as well. He is a very chunky lad with a lot of hit points, so if you are a little bit of a scrub or learning to play, you know, you've got that additional buffer there. Also, for kind of big amounts of fun and interactive damage, man, just allows him to soak up a little bit more of that. And the armor break ability could be heavily expanded on and maybe even converted into an armor shatter for certain matchups as well. So yeah, I think there is a lot of stuff that could be done with Hulkbuster, but he's a lot of availability, a lot of potential uses throughout the endgame, especially in the variant content. So just make him a champion that instead of like you really dread to get, you're like, oh wow, like I've got Hulkbuster, I can use him for all this utility, like all of the variants, and it's like a really good time. So I think Hulkbuster is kind of the given #1 option for me, but also I think there is a very enticing second option in Netflix Daredevil, and if you're not going to vote for Hulkbuster, please vote for Daredevil, man, because Daredevil is one of the greatest TV shows in history. Season 3 was amazing, it was so good, and I'm still very salty that it got cancelled. So this is the Netflix Daredevil, man. It is the TV show version, and I've always much preferred his look in comparison to the classic version. So Daredevil as well has the very interesting ability at the moment to ignore the invisible mechanic against invisible opponents, such as Invisible Woman, Darkhawk, and Hood. So currently, I don't believe this is expanded to opponents like Mysterio and Ebony Maw, but it could be. And there are future invisible champions, because this seems to be a very popular mechanic that they're just chucking on all sorts of new characters. So yeah, it could make him a very good counter to all of these like really tricky, very annoying opponents, if they can especially like ramp his damage output up a little bit more. And give him a little bit more utility. And also, Daredevil Netflix currently has a small chance to auto-evade projectiles, and this could be significantly increased in certain matchups to come close to or match the classic Daredevil, kind of like Stark and Aunt Spider-Man. I assume they're probably not going to give him like classic Daredevil signature ability, but there could be something that is like 100% chance to auto-evade a special, and then it goes on like a 30-second cooldown or something like that. Just something a little bit more reliable that you can count on. But yeah, I think there's a lot they can do with the auto evade, man, and I love auto evade mechanics. They are a really good time when they're, you know, when they're benefiting you, man, not when you're like fighting a champion like Spider-Man. That's never really any fun. Also, you got the 2015 skill rank up gem, available from all the variants you can use to rank for a 5-star version of Netflix Daredevil. And also, he's been in the 5-star champion crystal for ages, man. So many people have a version of Daredevil Netflix knocking about. However, there is no 6-star yet, but could potentially be available in the future. So we'd have to, you know, wait and see on that one. Currently as well, Daredevil Netflix has really good block proficiency that allows him to have a 7 combo. So what you can do with Daredevil at the moment is parry, and then you get medium, and then medium like full combo, and then with a medium there. So you can do 7 combos currently on the champion, and if they can give him like even more kind of damage output and mechanics and utility, like with this base, it could be really interesting for the champion's buff. So there's no guarantee that, again, that's going to stay, but hey, it could be something that seems a little bit enticing, man. If they keep the block proficiency, that's always a very good time. He currently also stuns, and the stuns are really awesome if you get lucky with the crits at the moment, but these could be expanded on a little bit more as well. He also has an armor break mechanic that could be expanded on, and currently has very good synergy with the Despair Mastery, because you are applying a lot of debuffs there, but also there's potential synergies with champions like Iron Fist, Kingpin, also Luke Cage as well. And I was thinking with Daredevil, man, if they really did want to go the full mile, they could create like a Defenders Trinity with Luke Cage and also Iron Fist, and do some like really interesting stuff for that, man, because Luke Cage, he's in a pretty good spot at the moment, and if they make you know, Luke Cage and Daredevil get a small benefit from the synergy, but maybe like Iron Fist get a really big benefit as well, there could be something to really bring up that champion. So yeah, I think that'd be really fun, especially for kind of fans of the Netflix shows there. So yeah, Daredevil, at least for me, man, is a very strong second. I think there's a lot of potential stuff that they could do with this champion that could be just insanely fun and make him like a really good addition to the game. So now that we've covered my top 2 options, I want to talk about the other 4 champions and kind of the reasons that I don't believe they're worth voting for, just in comparison there. So again, this is just my opinion, man. So Iron Man, there's already a pretty sick version of Iron Man with the Infinity War version, and especially like the Stealth Suit Spidey synergy, man, just gives him some great damage output. He's got so much utility as well, and also with Hulkbuster, that's going to be like 2 Iron Men in the top tier. So yeah, I don't think Iron Man is, you know, necessarily as needed. I would say also in comparison to Hulkbuster, he's not an XL champion, so that kind of will remove him as an option for variant 2 there. So I just think, like, in comparison, man, Hulkbuster has a little bit more going for him, I would say. Kamala, there are currently way too many OP cosmics, with more coming, such as Silver Surfer toward the end of this year. She's not currently available as a 6-star champion, and with the right synergies and setup, man, Kamala is already a pretty good champion. So you can check out Sweeter on YouTube, man. He loves Kamala Khan. He's such a sick player and has done some crazy stuff with Kamala already. So out of all these champions, I'd say that she's by far the most powerful out of all of the 6 there. And then we got Abomination. So there are too many OP science champions with more coming. You know, we got Mr. Fantastic in like the next month and a bit as well, and also he's not widely available as a 5 or 6-star champion, so you know, not too many people have like an end game version of Abomination that they can rank up and use quite soon. So yeah, Abomination, just don't really think that he's going to be that beneficial. And then we've got Black Panther OG. So if this was the Civil War version, I might feel maybe a little bit different about his potential, but it's the old basic model of Black Panther, which is significantly less interesting, just in my opinion, than the Civil War version, because, yeah, he doesn't have, like, his vibranium armor, or, like, any of the cool abilities that he does have, like, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you see in the movies, for example. Like, you can't use him for Variant 2, he's heavily restricted in Variant 3, and in Variant 1, the Skill and Mutant chapter is by far the easiest. Just because he's like such a basic, like, old school version of Black Panther, I'm just not really seeing like that much potential in terms of his buff, and I think his buff is likely to be like a load more damage and a load more bleeds, and I think there's already plenty of champions that deal like a ton of damage as well. You might get like a few more things at it, but yeah, honestly, man, I just think he is so far behind the potential of like Netflix Daredevil and Hulkbuster as well. 3-2-1, 3-2-1. But again, those are just my thoughts and opinions. Feel free to let your imagination run wild there, but I do think Daredevil and also Hulkbuster do have the most potential. But one thing I wanted to talk about is kind of the existing like endgame champion ranking class spread at the moment, based on my tier list, kind of just looking at the high demigod tier or above, because I think most people can agree, like, any champion in the high demigod tier is a pretty good champion to get, a champion that you're quite happy to see when you pull them out of a 5 or 6-star champion crystal, or even a 4-star one when it comes to champions like Scarlet Witch there. So yeah, if we have a look at the spread, we have 14 characters currently in the mutant class, and that is factoring in the Colossus and Old Man Logan buff. So yeah, mutants got a lot. Cosmic has 14 as well, 15 with the Silver Surfer. I would imagine he's going to be a very good champion. And in the science class, you have 13 at the moment. It's going to be increasing, I assume, to 14 with the release of Mr. Fantastic. Skill, you currently have 10, probably going up to 11 after the release of Elsa. Tech, we've got 10, and that's probably going up to 11 with the release of Guillotine 2099. Mystic, we have 8, and one of those champions is Scarlet Witch, man, and she is not available as a 5-star champion or a 6-star champion, and most of the really good Mystics, man, aren't even available as 6-star champions yet as well. So yeah, I was really hoping to see see like some Mystic champions in this poll. I was saying to some of the Kabam developers, if you put Doctor Strange in, I think currently like the 3 most buffed characters that people want in the game are Magneto, Doctor Strange, and Hulkbuster. Just from like community opinion and people talking on the forums and stuff, I think there is a lot of love, a lot of drive for Magneto, but I can kind of understand why they didn't put him in this poll, just because there are so many mutants and cosmic characters like dominating the top tiers at the moment. However, we really do need some more Mystics when it comes to like future champion buff polls. Like there are a lot of characters such as like Mordo, Iron Fist, Thor, Jane Foster, like Loki I'd love to see get a buff as well, Juggernaut, Unstoppable Colossus. So yeah, there's a lot of like Mystic champions that just need like a bit more love, and I think if Mystic champions are going to be in the next poll, they are going to absolutely dominate it. But yeah, man, Doctor Strange like is such an iconic character. There is so much crazy stuff that you could do with like a proper Doctor Strange update. So yeah, I'd love to see that when it does come to the next champion update poll. But also, this is an additional reason why it's probably quite a good idea to vote for either a tech or a skill champion. So yeah, just you know, an additional reason to vote for either Hulkbuster or Daredevil there. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. What champion are you going to be voting for when it does come to this Friday's poll? And just as a reminder, this poll is going to be going live this Friday on, I believe it's the 11th of October at 1 PM PDT, so that's 6 PM UK time, like the standard time that new stuff goes live in Marvel Contest of Champions. So yeah, make sure you're about on Friday, you hop into the forums and you vote in the poll, and yeah, either vote for Hulkbuster or Daredevil or whoever you want. Again, you know, it's your choice at the end of the day, mate. Choose whoever makes you happy. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.